All right. We're starting off every region grand finals VOD review winners with EU, Malibuca and Merstach landing fencing fields. Now, if you watch throughout the majority of the tournament, I can already tell you what happened off spawn for pretty much every single one of the games. It shouldn't be anything interesting as far as I'm aware, so we might end up skipping past that. For, I'm pretty sure, all 12 games here, we had Diox Cade in this side, Lays and Locks in this side. I don't know if these teams fought at all, but basically Malibuca Merstach, I think they fought like one team. That was it. I think like once they fought, and that was because Malibuca Merstach got a headshot snipe. Breaking floors in here, something that most people, still to this day don't know. Not every single vault you can do this in, but in the majority of the ones, if you just break the floor, it breaks everything. And importantly, it also breaks like the weapon things out. You can also just break the, below there, and it'll knock all the weapons out, and you instantly harvest them like way faster. Breaks all the gold, does everything for you, rather than just wasting time opening chests and pickaxing and stuff like that. Also, straight on to the combat cache as we mentioned. So basically off their drop spot, they got a ton of wood, ton of brick. And then as soon as combat cache spawns, they use mobility to get to it as quick as possible. This is also something that a lot of teams are yet to catch on to. So whenever you're going for a combat cache, Malibuca right there is inside going for it. He's in the box, and if a team pushes, obviously you share a combat cache with one team. So if a team pushes, they're obviously going to go for this. If there's ever a bush that's near around where you're going for your combat cache, having another player just sit in that and splitting is so good. You know, there's also this one over here that he could have sat in instead. So if any teams push, they'll be focused on Malibuca in this box, whereas Merstach can shoot them in the back. I think they've decided just to drop that strategy now, as basically it doesn't seem like the other team is coming for their cache at all. But that you can do that in so many different parts of the map, and I can guarantee you, if you crack them back, so say they jump onto your wall and you're behind them already, spray them into the back, they will either disengage or you can get the kill really quickly. So works really well. I really hope this is a headshot snipe just waiting when he opens up, because that's perfect for the bush strategy we talked about earlier. And by the way, Chino can tell that he's in here. He can see him through the wall. Replay modes, the builds are a little bit different, so you can actually see them easier through the wall, not in replay mode. But also, this cone's edited here, which shows that he's just sitting staring through the cone. There you go. Headshot snipe onto Chino. Perfect. That's big damage. So, heavily aggress onto Chapix. I love Merstach goes around to the other side of this fight. He instantly goes to create a pinch where Malibuca's on one wall. Merstach is on the other wall spraying in. Chapix also does a good job of getting out and creating more space though. Now Merstach looking for the body. Ooh, really nice actually from Chapix there. How he left the wall open and hid behind the cone to make it seem like he wasn't in there, and then jumped out, took a shot. That's really nice. And now, even though Merstach is weak, he has the coin, the medallion, so he's able to sit and let his health recharge, but at the same time, he's pressuring onto Chapix at the same time. It's really good. And this replay is bugged, so there is actually a wall edited there. That's not wall hacks, that's just replay being bugged. There is a wall edited there. Does look like it. Does look a lot like wall hacks, though, but it's not, of course. Do you think Mongol Savage did good? Yes. I mean, to get to finals is good, you know? Sprays through the floor. And now they're 700 above Storm Surge. So, and that's Chino bleeding out there. So, Merstach hit 3 body shot snipes, 1 headshot snipe, and a couple AR tags, and then everything in this fight. So, like, their Surge early on this game is so good already. 900 above Surge. I would imagine at this point in the game, they've probably done the most Storm Surge damage out of any team. So, really, really good. So, for them, that's also 2 elims on the board, which is this is day 1, so it's only 8 points. But still, that's really good. So, again, this kind of zone keeps pulling fully south. So, for them, they're here. Yeah. So, again, because the zone pulls south, all these people will be going onto the north side. So, at this point, zone is likely to pull back north. So, if you're a player in this point and you're reading the zone, what you can... Let me just hide that. What you can basically say is... I think it's like... There's a stat where I think it's like 95% of the time... The 6th zone doesn't pull back to Loot Island. So chances are zone is not going to pull to the south. You can also say that because the chances of zone pulling to the very edge of the map are less than it pulling back up into this area. Because a zone that was like 6th zone that was like this or like this doesn't even make sense because it's all off of the map. So there's almost no chance of the zone pulling south here. So if for Malibuca and Merstach, they position themselves somewhere around here. And then the zone will pull north. They'll stay away from all of these teams who will be up in this area more than likely. However, they'll be in the best position to rotate to the next zone. If it pulls to the west, they can run down south And if it runs to the east, they can pull that way. All right, hold on. Let's just see. See if my prediction was right. 3 seconds. Let's see where this next storm goes. I'm saying it guaranteed does not go south. Ta-da! Whoa! So yeah, for them, so obviously they ended up positioning themselves here, so still in the POI. However, if they had rotated further down into this area where I said, now that the zone's here, they could have made an easy rotation in. If it was over here, they could have made an easy rotation into here too. All right, let's see where Malibuca's gone. Malibuca's flown way past. So in this kind of zone, you want to go deeper in as well. Like, you want to get to the backside here, for similar reasons we said before. But the problem is you can get focused if you're one of the last teams landing. But that's why Malibuca built straight Mel. I love immediately. So one of the things, if you're getting focused from the lobby, it can really start to go downhill very quickly, because rather than one person spraying you, another person sees that and they spray you back. So as soon as you start to get sprayed by someone in the lobby, this is loud. Yeah, so as soon as you start to get sprayed by someone in the lobby, having one player hold and one player go to an angle like Merstach did there and spray them back can stop them shooting you, which then stops other people following in and shooting you as well. So really good play to immediately like counter aggression back to prevent the lobby focus. All right, dropping the metal. Hard mats go from Merstach. I want to see what Merstach does down on the front side. As the fragger, as the person who goes for the elims. Loves that, tries to chop players down with the ramp play. Yep. Ooh. Merstach went on one floor and Malibuca went onto the other floor, and they both tried to shoot them down. So that if Axe Force there tried to run forward, he would go into the box that Merstach was shooting down too. That's really nice tech from low ground. All right, grapple front side. Probably getting to the point. You don't need a refresh yet, but this is the kind of time where getting another elim will help you massively, because you don't want to wait too long before you start to get another refresh. If you wait too long, there's no way you're going to be able to get... You're just going to have nothing and it's become too difficult. So continue looking for stuff. It's good. They've gone into the back of the tarp here. They managed to steal the loot off of that elim that Thomas got to. Finding tarps of players who have metal also. So see Queasy and Thomas there are in metal and brick. If you go into the back of their tarp, if you're building in metal, the chances are they have good mats. So that's a high value target for you. That's a refresh that you can get a lot from. Nice. Another elim. Oh my god, Merstach does not miss. Merstach does not miss with this. Because he was spraying, also the teams went onto the front wall there. He didn't hear them pickaxe through. Let's see where he goes from here. Great assessment to go up onto the hill, but minimal mats to the left. I love, like, Merstach is constantly shooting. Like, a lot of fraggers, he would just, in that kind of situation, they'd go up. They'd maybe tunnel themselves a little bit deeper in, but Merstach gets up, he looks back. Gets up, looks back. He's always trying to look for some sorts of elims. Oh my god, that's disgusting. Merstach's aim is one of the best in the region. Like, a lot of people look at, guys like Thomas HD and Vino and say their aim's insane, but Merstach's is genuinely next level, and it has been for a long time. He goes down to zone, unfortunately. I think we saw this part on broadcast. Let's see. Malibuca looks kind of lost. I think from this point, there's like... This is an extremely difficult situation to win when there's 6 teams up, or 6 players up, 4 teams. So in this situation, if you're on height, your only goal here is to try and make it to top 2 and play out as much placement points as possible. Not your only goal, but that's like your main goal, right? Your main goal here is to try and get a top 2. Because the chance of winning is just so unbelievably low. And here, I remember seeing this on broadcast, man. He was just flying past. That's an awful way to end the game. But yeah, a horrible way to end the game. But Merstach Malibuca got fragged out. 11, it says 11 elims, but they only got 10, which I think is interesting. But that's maybe because one of those teams backed out. All right, let's see. Suns and Vazen. My first major concern with how OCE is played is how, in God's name, he doesn't exist. Sorry if you're religious, but that's my personal belief. Is no one on forecast yet? So, like, what is happening to the teams? So usually forecast, the teams from Snooty never get forecast. Never get forecast. Because these teams or these teams around here will rotate and get it instantly, like way before. And in order to get forecast, you always have to be like the first team claiming it. And then you have like defensive positions, so you can do things like this where you can create the boxes over it, which we've watched. If you watched any of my other the weekly reviews, you always know that. But how is no one going for that on OC? So they've got Snooty. They have Snooty, they have Mythic Pump, they have forecast. Like, that is a gifted win. Immediately, like straight away. You've literally been giving, and you've got 2 elims, so you got free surge too. So you would think from a normal team positioning somewhere, why is this so? What is going on? What is replay mode doing, man? This shit is cooked. Anyway, yeah. So like you'd think that. Wait, and they'll skip forward just until the zone closes. For most teams, situating yourselves in a position like this, like right on the edge of zone, is a horrible position, right? Because usually, you know, if it pulls far, you're really screwed. However, when you have forecast, this is actually a really good position to be in, okay? Because now that this zone has appeared, you are on the side, like on the middle of the zone, basically, where you can push into dead side. So all these teams will rotate into these areas. So if they're smart, we should hopefully see them push a little bit further around so that they're in the dead side, because all these teams will rotate into them here and they'll get super clustered. If not, let's see what they do. All right, grapple down the front side low. Little risky given the zone is starting to pull up. Yeah, exactly. So you're going to have to commit a couple mats here. So again, if the zone's starting to pull up like that, sometimes it's better to wait a little bit so that a team is established so that you don't have to wait as many materials before you make that rotate. Backside of the zone. These guys are actual AI. Sorry, Meloxity and Basil, but that is some actual drones. Like, nice layer change. Not overcommitting to using a grapple is really nice too in these kind of zones. So now that the zone has gotten smaller, they're just using Fizz. If you played solo cash cups, I actually honestly, in some solo cash cups this season, preferred to use the Fizz over a grapple blade at all. It's a bit aids for mid game. However, like some of your rotates are so good throughout the moving zones where you can just jump and build at the same time, you know. All right, easy height retake because the height team are fully lost. I need to let me quickly relook at the height retake there because OCE or. All right, they fizz straight away, so they got low gravity. No knowledge. Literally no insight onto what's happening on height, by the way. However, it's a good time to go for it. So, they fizzed. Zone's just about to close. Wait, is it about to close? Yeah, that doesn't make it a good time. But anyway, they've just fizzed, and they've tons of mats. So, in terms of, like, timing to go and height retake, it's fine. So when you fizz grapple like this from underneath also, you usually fly up higher as Vazen does. And what you probably should do is pump and then connect with builds and go up higher. Rather than taking a little bit too much damage there. But going for a height retake without any information on height is kind of insane. Especially at that timing. So here's the thing, right? Height retakes are a lot about transitions. So they know when the zone's pulling, obviously, because they have forecast. However, let me turn this off. It's all purple. I know all the replay bugs and how to fix them. There we go. Right. So on zone transitions, for this at this point, it doesn't really matter because the zone's much smaller. But typically, just before a zone moves to another direction, you don't want to go for a height retake at that time because you don't know if it pulls max distance and if you'll have mats to like continue it or not. Whereas in this instance, it doesn't matter because it's later on and the zones are already small. It's not a bad play to go for height there because they have so many mats. And the chances, like, they had like 200 builds combined. So the chance of them, like... This is a bit of a major milk. Taking a tick of zone to reload probably isn't worth it for heal off. I don't know if he actually took a tick there. I could be wrong. Oh. Oh. Oh, and he's dead. Apparently he said his internet disconnected, which I thought was funny. But he's out. And then Vazen has nothing to win the heal off. I think at this point, the reality is he needs to go and drop and grab the medkits. Because they need to try and play heal off to win the 1v2. But he didn't get any of the medkits. Jumps in. Is starting to cook on low ground. But then gets shot in the back. L awareness. It's clearly not cheating. They're also landing at fencing, but they're doing a little bit different strategy from Malibuca Merstach. Where Malibuca Merstach were down in this side. Whereas they are the team that's on the left. Interesting. So I actually don't know. I've not watched any of this, so I don't even know what their looting paths and whatnot looks like. I imagine they get the slurp truck though, right? They basically just stay here and harvest? Is that really it? How did they get the bot? What? Wait, how did they get the fencing bot? Does that make sense? That doesn't make any sense. Because we did actually see them over there. Interesting. This seems like... Just seems like very strange from M-Pen and Mason. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't understand the thought process here, you know? Because that just full gifts Acorn and Cold the bot. In particular, if you're doing bad, yeah, surely that's an agreement. Like, there's or like they were just being kind, and it's like, oh, they could win, so we're disengaging. You know, like, oh, they're gonna do good. Why don't we just not kill the bot so that they have a chance of killing it? Kind of like Cringe and Noms did on EU, where they just like disengaged rather than in the last 2 games. And then they get the free ball in the last game. That's so odd. But he really should be doing some sort of tags right now. I guess he's maybe looking at those teams up there. This is, I will also add, a truly horrific position. Unless they know something I don't, which they may indeed. But for a team who has no tags so far, no damage, sitting here in a position where you're also, firstly, 1 layer off the ground, right? This is their like active vision here and here. Whereas obviously, even if they were just a little bit higher, well, they don't really gain much from that. Maybe if they're up here. How high would you have to go to gain something? Man, this spot just sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Unless you're where Reet and Ritual is, where you have like a bigger like space all around. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna get any tags here, but regardless, like the chance of you getting any damage from this spot is so low. Maybe they are. Maybe they just got the best aim in the world, but seems interesting. With certain zone pools, you can predict where Loot Island is going to spawn. So if Loot Island, using the rift or using it as a rotation strategy or to re-harvest your materials is a big part of your strat, you know, if it pulls up to this like northeast side, there's only a few spawns that it could go in. This is something, for example, in Global Championships that Miro and Cooper did, where it was obviously a different map, but in that game, the zone pulled down to the southwest, and there was only 1 potential spawn in that zone. Now, I don't know them off the top of my head. Maybe they're going here so they can use that to rift later. But maybe I'm just giving too much credit. I don't know. And another thing, maybe they know strategies for other teams, right? So one thing about Storm Surge isn't necessarily always where you're positioned, is where you're positioned in comparison to other teams. So, you know, if he knows there's a specific teams that in this area that rotate using this as their path and they can use it to get tags, maybe that's why they're sitting there. I would be very surprised if they were above Surge when it pops. 40 below. Wait, is Threshold only 40 damage? Or are they 40 below? Hold on. There's no way they've only done 40 damage. Or they're 40 below. Yeah, 40 below. Okay, so they were below. They've not done much damage. Okay. How is the threshold that low, though? Like, I feel like they've not done any damage. So, strange. Anyway, the Surge isn't in a good spot, regardless. Positioning there was not ideal. So what did they end up playing for, though? Drops down. There was a knockdown here. I don't know if they saw that. Should have gone for that. Have a headshot snipe. I still chat to confirm. Does that still work? So I saw on broadcast people say that sniping a knocked body in the head does not give you all the full Storm Surge. But does that actually work or not? Because I saw Vino do it on stream, on the actual broadcast, and his damage went up by like 275. Again, I will say I'm not sure 100% if that works. Nice spray. That body's a knock. He headshot sniped and it went up 269. There you go. Boom. Perfect. Thank you. There we go. It does work. As always, waiting a little bit before you make your rotation here. Where the hell is Acorn? There's Quanti. What the hell is he doing? Cold's in a good spot. Where's Acorn? Hold on. Acorn, buddy. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, he's there. Okay. Now he somehow got back here. I'm a solo. What the hell am I doing that? You know what's crazy is you're actually in like one of the best spots still as a solo, though. Deeper into zone. Anyway, the point I was making there is deeper into zone. So that if you pull the zone this way, or this way, you have a much fewer rotate. As you can see, there's much less people there. It did pull back, which makes it tricky. But again, you're putting yourself at the odds, because from deeper into these kind of zones, you have a position, like you have such freer rotates on like 75% of zone pulls, but if it pulls back this way, it's just a bit more difficult. But then you just have to wait till everyone else rotates. So now they're below Surge again. maybe last game jitters, but as we mentioned earlier, if they'd gotten a bunch more surge in the earlier parts of the game, they probably wouldn't be struggling as much here. Bunch of reasons why. But it's good because they rotated a little bit earlier and they've staggered here. So they basically got in, stopped. They can either shoot the players in front from behind that are rotating later, and then look in front and also shoot the players who have rotated in front of them. So a first moving zone stagger like that can deal you so much damage, get you so many free points, and you can see how much higher they are on the leaderboards now. In particular, when you're cold using this AR. Bunch of mats left. That's worth going for. But he's super safe. I like that. They don't actually go back for it. Interesting. I don't know if he's trying to play for heal off, so not want to take any storm damage. Maybe they just don't need it. 160. They could have used some mats. But it is what it is. And they took 2 storm ticks anyway, so oh well. A little bit of a shoddy rotate here. Oh, this is messy. Oh, Cold, this is messy. Okay, he's out. Nice. Good stuff. Instantly back into helping Acorn. I did well. Let's go, Rodex. That's what we like to hear. Lovely stuff. All right, jump to the front side. Beautiful tarping there. Again, this is why in some of those later zones, as we said earlier, Fizz is so good. They were Fizz there. They were Fizz, so it must have run out. But you can just Fizz jump. Like, there's no need. Once it gets to, like, later on zones, using grapple blades is so ass. As we saw from what happened to Cold there, where he got stuck in a bunch of other people. Whereas just using one little bit of the juice can help you get up. Prodigy shit on. Lovely. Great pressure while Cold is just playing pump out or AR out there. Whilst Acorn's going for the wall. So if the guy makes an edit, he can instantly hit a bang. So there's almost nothing you can do against that. One player going for the wall replace or pressuring, and the other one just sitting where you pump out. Great synergy. Love that Cold takes over in the end game whilst Acorn's behind and healing. Ramp out there to block anyone from back zone seeing him. And looking to spray out height. That doesn't seem to come anything of that, which was really nice. Splitting some mats. Give him all the medkits so he can go play heal off. Fizzing. I swear to God he didn't have a fizz a second ago. I just checked. But oh well. Maybe I'm a drone. Nice angles. So you can see the position from where he's going to take height from here is really nice, right? He's mirroring height. So he's essentially sitting right the layer below height. Playing from a floor on top and on a right-hand peak. So like from here, it's really difficult from height teams to see you. So say you're back here, like you have no vision because you can't right-hand peek. And Epic Will has had to tarp right to the front side and cone out before he gets an angle onto Acorn. So by mirroring the height team and playing on a right-hand peak like this, that's like one of the easiest ways that you can get sprays out. In particular, if you're like shooting back, even from here, like if he just placed the cone over his top and then had the angle to spray back here, there's almost no angles that clicks and Epic Will on height can see him do that, which allows you to chop him out much easier. I say this in such confidence as if I knew that before, but I literally just saw that now and thought that was a good idea. Resubstrats revealed. Fraud hub. Low mats. Ooh, nice. Love the commitment. Just jump straight in. And again, he's second height now, so he's getting double sprayed from the top. Something similar again. Ooh, bad peek from Acorn. Again, he was not underneath him, so he wasn't taking a good angle at that point, and he's been punished for it. Now the problem here is they're like the middle team, right? So they're second height. Acorn clicks on height. The only thing they do is look down and shoot, depending on how much ammo they have. And if this was a fair 2v2, so this is pulling back through old builds, so it's not as bad. But in reality, if like, say this was a zone where it was pulling in a different direction, where there's not a bunch of old builds, Booga and Jukes on low ground, or sorry, Threat and Jukes on low ground, would be able to spray up since they're pinched in between. So like, this angle, when you're second height in like a almost 2v2v2 situation, is by far the worst position to be in. But because it pulls back over old builds, it's okay. Essentially. Alright, using the juice to jump onto height. We like it. I don't know how they did that because server lag, which is lovely. So yeah, I basically don't know what just happened there, but I'll maybe watch that back from Acorn's POV to see if I can figure it out. Alright, popping the juice. Healing up the medkit. They used all those medkits, so he had tons of medkits, so they ended up draining them, so they don't have anything for heal off. They just jump straight down, spray in. Just seems like no one has any mats. Cold playing pump out again. Lovely. So yet again, Cold just playing pump out all the time, whereas Acorn is the one usually going for wall replaces and things, it seems like there. on the right perspective. So I don't know anything about... I know are these guys not won 3 FNCS in a row? I think on Middle East, these guys have won 3 in a row. I could be wrong. If he gets headshot signed out of the bush, that is actually mad. Oh, he's going to rotate. Ooh. And we're not going to see it because of server lag. I love server lag. Oh, no. Best region. They can't get top 40 globals. Yeah. Ooh, Kai. I love that angle from him, actually. So... This is actually something on them, right? So from Kalgamer's perspective, Phantom was in this way, so he's been producing this wood all the way along, of course. But from Kai, rather than like W keying straight forward, he runs around the back and just gets an angle behind. That's why if you're ever going to build walls like this and you see 2 teams in front of you and you're running away, instantly always try and like put 1 or 2 walls behind you to prevent them swinging behind. No resemblance of heal off. Nice little double edit. Going for the body is an insane play there, I must add, right? Okay, so in this situation, really nice. He got the doubles, which is really nice. Kills FKS. These guys also the team who could have won, but God awareness from them. Love the block. He edits down. Here, okay? Massive problem. So, you can lose this in this situation pretty easily. Now, Adapter in this situation has 0 builds. FKS has also 0. Okay, which is not great, but that changes things slightly, but of course they don't know that. So if you're 7-man in this position, I know 7-man is pronounced something different. I can't remember what it is. If you go for this finish, that gives Adapter the siphon mats. So here, if he actually he messed it up because there's still invincibility, right? But had they gone for the finish rather than shooting Adapter in that moment, he now... Did he get the mats? Yeah, he got the mats straight away. Boom. Right? Because he got that finish there, he has this mats, these like 34 mats now. And now they ended up winning it anyway in the 1v2. But in situations where you're 2v1, you almost, most of the time, unless you have the body, you do not want to go for the finish. For that exact reason, because you don't want to give the other player more mats back. So... that was my entire Middle East analysis. Ranked the regions best to worst. EU's the best. NA. It's hard to say. Probably Brazil. Brazil, Asia. Brazil, Asia. I don't know the difference between the two to say like which one's better. Brazil, Asia. One of the two. I don't know the order. OCE and then Middle East. Like, unfortunately, guys, Middle East is the worst. As a guy who's VOD reviewed the winners of OCE and Middle East every season since Chapter 2 Season 2, I have watched a lot of gameplay, and I can safely tell you that they are the worst, unfortunately. And I root for them. I love the OCE, and I love the Middle East guys. I want them to do good. I love like a good underdog story where the smaller region players do really well. Trust me, I wish they would do good, but they do not. I wonder if Shelom is just going for surge tags from here. And because he's the grapple blade, he can get back. It's interesting. So basically, Shelom is like scouting around the area looking for snipes to get surge tags. Whilst Yagou is, I assume, farming. Yeah. Imagine so. He's also dropped his shotgun, which I imagine, again, is purely for surge regions. So they basically have like a... That's kind of a cool strat, actually. Where they essentially have coverage over like massive split. Yagou and Shelom there. They had like coverage over such a large area. And this area here, so many teams rotate through it. It's quite open, even though there's a couple of hills. But if you're on top of one of them, you've got good sight lines. He was looking at teams rotating through this way earlier. So that's pretty cool. I would imagine that Yagou would drop either the sniper or the shotgun, the SMG soon though. But you just have to be cognizant of where teams are rotating, because if you get caught while this separated, yeah, that's not good. You just have to know what players' rotations, paths, and strategies are going to be, though. You know. All right, I've not seen. Oh yeah, nice body shot from Yagou. Like, and they're actually. What's interesting is they're kind of like pinching this team. Man, that's actually pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. So like, had this team then rotated out here, they would have run into Shelom, who would have had more tags on them too. So they're like creating up pinches from different angles. The problem is, does Yagou have a... Yeah, Yagou has crash pads, so if he gets pushed, it's very risky. However, the idea is really cool. Shoots, distance himself, runs away. Always keep an eye on that one team that's in there to make sure they're not pushing back. Using the grapple blade. Notice how also he's only really using like 1 or 2 uses of the grapple blade. Nice, another body shot. 1 or 2 uses of the grapple blade and then running, because he needs to save some charges in the grapple blade left, because if he doesn't, that means if he gets pushed as a duo, he has no way to escape. So he's usually like keeping some in. I mean, right now I'm just lying because he's just using them all, but that's good. Oh, because Zagou's caught up already. Okay, cool. Awesome. I really like that strat. That's actually seems really minor, but very strategic positioning so that you can create pinches on teams rotating around you. Really nice. Now that Storm Surge has popped up, they're 364 above. So like, that's a lot. That's a good amount of damage, you know? Actually, we can see... No, I can't be bothered to check, but they've probably done around 500 damage or something. And again, now that this team's here, right? This team's moved in. Let's look at the... Ooh, I pressed F4. That was close. Shelom's here. Zagou's here. So, like, again, you have, like, a visibility pinch where you're, like... Oh, maybe Zagou's a bit far because he's only got an SMG. You can see it looking, right? They've pinched diagonally. In order to do this, you really need to have good awareness, though. Like, if you're a stupid team, this is not going to work. But this is really nice. Yep, so they haven't got much damage in a while, even though they're doing this strat. Zone appears, okay? So, because zone pulls here, it's obvious all of these teams will rotate into where they are. So, preemptively, ahead of time, Shelom immediately rotates out into Storm, out of his positioning, because he knows players will be rotating into him here. So he knows there's an opportunity to get tags here. So he's pushed further out. I think there's a bit of server lag, but I know he hits a snipe here. Yeah, I think he hit a body shot snipe there. And then he insta dips back out. Did he hit a snipe? I think he did. I don't know. And he knows he can always come back, right? He knows he's safe to come back because Zagou's still here. He can check his behind. And he just came from this position and knows there's no one there. So that's like good thought process of like really good zone awareness of understanding where the teams are going to rotate into and putting yourself ahead of those positions. I will say relying on like one player with a sniper for Storm Surge is kind of scary though, but the thought process is really good. And then he keeps moving back. It's like a staggering effect, you know? He goes in front of the player because he knows this to rotate into them. When they get to him, he moves back. They snipe. He moves back again and repeats, you know? Why doesn't he just wait for the zone to close? The players will come to him because he can do that ahead of time. He can jump into them. So he's still safe. He knows he's safe to rotate there, get tags, and then when both players move back, like I mentioned before, staggering, he can get more tags. He just didn't hit the shots, but the theory was good. They're jumping underneath height, so this is really nice, right? This is kind of... Why is my controller... Every time we back out, the controller isn't working. There we go. Oh, I'm just dumb. Doesn't matter. Yeah, so as they jumped here, height team, they were using the low gravity effect, and they were gliding underneath here, right? So, like, height team can't spray them unless they're at an angle like this looking back, which he's not focused that direction. So as they used their juice there, he just flew under here to allow them to get to the front side, which, if I'm guessing, will be the start of their high ground retake. Mantle. Shotgun didn't shoot, but it didn't... No awareness, so it's fine. Straight up onto height. They have 3 medkits. Not surprised they actually have heal off planned because Zega. What am I saying? Yagou is very good. Disrupting the heal off backside zone. Nice. Shelom's only... Even though he died there, Shelom's only goal there was to just be a psychopath and run in. I love that he picks up the medkits so he can try and carry them away so that Yagou could potentially find them later. And then it's just going to be a medkit win. The one thing Asia are very good at playing heal off. Like Asia, like this is the longest heal off I've seen so far in any FNCS match. Got into grand finals and they won, of course. Beautiful. Yo, it's good, Simon. I'm doing great. Thanks. How are you getting on? Oh, it's just a solo left. Free kill. Nice. I love that. I know that was super simple mechanic, but I love the jump out, shoot, and then placing the floor to break to block the shot. It's pretty rare that you see... You always see it with walls, right? Where you'll shoot your shotgun shot, place a wall to block a pump. But people don't have that muscle memory down with like other build pieces as much, you know? Oh, Rose picking up bandages. Interesting though, they're actually using... The bandage strat is actually kind of funny because it just shows they're planning for heal off, right? Like if you're focused so much on popping bandages there rather than you're wasting a medkit, like you're clearly planning ahead to try and win. This must have been a nice night. What's good, Slow? Bro, this guy just keeps hitting headshot snipes, man. Again, a lot of the best teams snipe after snipe after snipe. Genuinely. Like, so many of the winning teams had 3, 4, 5, like, big bang headshot snipes, at least. All right, setting up the crash pad. Not using it with a berry, so just crash pad rotating in the front. Beautiful. Nice shot. Good aggression, but that player did a good job of getting out. Doesn't tunnel vision it, which we really like. Another front side, so... They're basically just going to probably have to sprint and build... Yeah, they're probably going to have to just actually use mats for the majority of this without any grapple blades. Which gives them the benefit of having, like, pump out and being able to fight. Whereas a lot of other teams are just grapple blading zone to zone. And you can take advantage of that by going for shots them through the air. But again, zone pulls back. Insta drop to low ground. So they've used one of the berries here, which I like. This is the thing, yeah. If you don't have grapple blades, I've said this in a lot of videos, and you just have the berries, the ability to like fight while you're moving is so good. Choosing a layer down here is also really nice because they don't want to fight anyone really at this point, but they can look back and look up. Oh my god, straight in the box. Accidentally pokeballed Gabzera and Scarpa, sorry. All right, got a bit of a free refresh, but that guy had pretty much no mats. They got a grapple blade. Okay, not gonna lie, they've been kind of lucky with zones here, as it just keeps pulling back and forth. So they're able to keep going through their own builds. Cadu down to Woods, Seeyun, 75 builds, set up for heal off already. And now, since the zones keep pulling back, it's a high likelihood that this will go to heal off, because less players die and less builds are used. He's also not opting to even take that grapple blade. There's another grapple blade there, and he's not taking it. The other thing, they can just tarp this. I don't know if I drop down for those mats if I'm them. Yeah, there you go. I would definitely look behind me, though, in this situation. And the low ground of this, because of the elevation, is actually so free. Oh, what's going on here? The problem is, now that he doesn't have a grapple blade, he actually has to build up, which means Cadu gets ahead of himself, and he only has wood, so if he gets sprayed now, it could be wraps. Tons of materials used. Again, a grapple blade could have been good there. I don't know if that one extra medkit is worth carrying over a grapple blade. It's hard to say. And yeah, exactly. There goes all the refresh, right? So they dropped down for all that mats, and then because they didn't have a grapple blade to get back up, it just instantly had to use them all again. All right. Now a 2v2v2. No, sorry, 2v2v1v1. Breaking through old builds. Basically, this is just like setting up for heal off. I don't know who's taking less storm damage, though. Again, I don't know if they predicted this would go to heal off because the zones kept pulling back. I doubt it. But this is good preparation regardless. Very early to jump back. But they have no mats. So that's actually a good call, right? The problem is he could die to storm sickness. We know he doesn't. Who's live? Peach, Zine, and Kitos, the guys who got banned. Rip. They don't have any heal off, so yeah, he just wins. It's literally unlosable. Yeah, and just wins because it's heal off. There you go. Let's go. Okay. I don't know what the analysis was from this either. I don't know if there was really much taken out of the Brazil